Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G here. Today I thought I would talk a little bit about Black Italian history. So subscribe to my channel and let's talk about Dacia Valent.
Y'all bitches be killing me with that, oh, she thinks she all that. Bitch, I am. And if I'm not, who is? You? Bitch, please.
So a lot of people will tell you Italy does not have that much experience with Black people. And, we're always talking about racism here in Italy, but there are and have been Italian people of color who have affected history in Italy. So I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about Dacia Valent because she seems like a very interesting character, and you can't find a lot of really positive information about her because she called out Italy for their racism way back in the day. So Dacia Valiant was actually a Somalian born Italian person. So her mom was actually a Somalian princess and her father was an Italian diplomat. So she was born in the capital of Somalia. I can't pronounce the name, so I'll put the name there, but I can't pronounce it. So she was born there, and she and her family moved to Italy when they were young. And so this is why her story is interesting. So looking through all of the information, obviously all of this information is only really written by Italian people. And the interesting thing about her is how she became famous. She became famous because she was calling out racism. And this same issue is also going to be what her downfall was. So Dacia Valent was actually sparked at a younger age when her brother was killed at the age of 16 years old in 1985 because he was Black. Some of his classmates actually murdered him. And this was something that came up or in her career as a politician here in Italy. She actually was the first person of color, Black woman who was elected into Italian parliament. So that in and of itself was historic. And you would think there'd be a lot of information about her because of that. There is not. And she is actually the more people start to talk about her, the more Black people here in Italy talk about her, they start to understand that she was kind of being erased from history, and potentially her downfall was systematic racism that was used against her so that she wouldn't be seen as a hero. And like the information around her shapes her as a bad person. She apparently went to engineering school but did not, it's not clear if she graduated from engineering school or not, because all of the articles say after an unsuccessful attempt at engineering school. So they already try and give you a pretty negative view on her. Like, she didn't get through engineering school, maybe she wasn't that smart. But somehow, despite that, she became famous because she joined the police force here in Italy. She called out her colleagues for being racist towards her and not helping her when she was experiencing racism on the job. So she had asked an Italian person for their ID, and she was there with two of her colleagues. She was then attacked and berated by this citizen while her colleagues watched. And of course, she calls it out. She didn't sweep it under the rug, and it became a big deal. And this is what made her famous and started her political career. So she used this popularity and she ended up associating herself or becoming a part of the Italian Communist Party, which is abbreviated into PCI. The Secretary of the European Parliament basically backed her to get her into politics. And she was a very popular activist underneath this Communist Party. So she considered herself more of an independent, even though she was kind of associated with the Communist Party. But her downfall started, guess what, with Israel. She actually had a meeting and she labeled the Israeli government the most racist government in the world. And she actually compared them to the Third Reich, which is interesting considering what's going on today. So, but this was in like 1990. And this was actually the beginning of the downfall of her political career. So the Israeli ambassador, of course, complains about her, wrote a formal complaint to the secretary of the European Parliament who had backed her. And so he started distancing himself from her after this statement. She was focused on trying to make sure that people from the Caribbean, from Africa, all had equal rights and a voice. So she was really active in this, but you cannot find a lot about what she actually did. Now, she must have been good at her job because she actually served 3 terms, but all you can find are negative things about her because she started calling out injustices within the system. And I think before, and I will say this about Italy, is like they believe their government. They believe what they're told. So most of the information that you see that is published about her really leans into all of the things that they saw negative about her, calling out Israel for being racist. She was actually sued for defamation for, again, trying to protect the rights of immigrants. There was a union group here in Italy that was trying to pressure Somalian women for sexual favors in exchange for, I guess, jobs or other things. So she was supporting these women in her cause, and they said that what she was doing, there was no proof of this thing, and so she got sued, lost, and had been jailed. That was her first time in jail. Now, this happened right after she kind of was getting out of politics. Her Communist Party dissolved and kind of moved into a different party, which became like the leftist Democratic Party. She did not want to join that. She ended up joining another party, which was associated with communism, called the Communist Reformist Party. And she ended up getting kicked out of that party because she started talking about fascism and saying that she had admiration for neo-fascists. So she ended up getting kicked out of the Communist Party. And this actually started the end of her political career. She went into philanthropy. She started basically what we would associate as a not-for-profit, and it was a non-governmental agency called SCORE. And you actually can't even find a lot of information on what SCORE did, but she ended up getting in trouble. So she supported a group of Somali women who claimed that a union group here in Italy were pressuring them for sexual favors. And so she supported them and took this issue to court. However, it was said that these people, it was not proven to be true, and that group sued her for defamation. So then she was also arrested, and it wasn't clear if she went to jail for this or not, but arrested for attacking her partner or her ex-lover, the father of her children, with a knife because she said he attacked her, and she was arrested because of that. So it wasn't sure if he actually attacked her and she was defending herself, but this was another thing that she was arrested for. And honestly, like the headlines that I could find on her, this is all it mentions. It's from politician to jailmate or imprisonment or something like this. This is all you can find in most Italian publications about her. She experienced sanctions associated with her not-for-profit group SCORE because apparently she had got some funding and they said that she misappropriated the funding for this and it wasn't going to where it was supposed to go. And so she was getting money that was supposed to help, that was supposed to build housing for immigrants as well as assistance centers. And the centers did not get built. And so it was just like nobody knew where this money was going. And so this is what ended up ruining her not-for-profit organization. And because of that, because of all of the things, she never got back into government because of all of these negative things associated with SCORE, the defamation suits. All of these things ended up getting her completely ousted of governmental opportunities. And so once there was Berlusconi, she was totally shut out of all of politics. So she started another group after SCORE dissolved and everything. She converted to Islam and started another organization called Islamic Anti-Defamation League. It was supposed to provide support for Muslims who felt like they were under some sort of religious attack by like their citizens, neighbors, of whatever. And so this was an organization that seemed to just disappear. All of a sudden, the numbers stopped working and it went away. In 2002 is when she was sanctioned in association with not having the right funding, with the funding misappropriation for SCORE. It's unclear when she started the Islamic organization actually, but in 2006 she ended up being indicted for aiding and abetting a robbery of a Polish immigrant who had gone to SCORE for some sort of help. So she was sentenced to a year in jail and a 15,000 euro fine. After jail, in October of 2008, she started her own personal blog. She started a blog called Italian Bastards, Shitty Italians. And I'm pretty much sure at this point, after something like this in Italy, Italians do not like criticism. They do not want someone, especially a foreigner, coming in and saying anything about them. So this is likely why she is seen as a pariah amongst like the media in Italy. All of like she had lots of derogatory things to say about Italians in this blog. And from that, the media just totally tore her down. And which this is exactly why you cannot find anything that she's actually done. They've tried to erase any positive things that she could have contributed to Italian history anywhere on the internet. Seriously, considering she served 3 terms in the European Parliament, it was very significant as the first Black woman, person of color, to be elected into the European Parliament. In 2012, she was in another criminal trial for defaming another politician from Morocco, and she actually passed away in 2015 from a heart attack, and she was living in Rome. She had 2 children, and that was her story of Dacia Valent, who was the first Black person, Black woman to be a part of European politics here in Italy. So I figured in honor of Black history, I would make a few videos about contributors from Italy here. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that little information and subscribe to my channel, and ciao ciao for now.